Welcome to your deep stretch and relaxation. My name is Nazli. We're going to go through about 30 minutes or so practice here together. I always like to start practice either on our backs on the mat or a comfortable position in your body, whatever that may look like today. So either lying on your back or a seated position. Just see for the first few moments, what do you need today? And if you haven't already, I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Just gently tuck that chin under a little bit. And let's do a little body check-in together. Just check in to see what have we arrived here with. We're not trying to judge anything or change anything. We just do a little check-in. How are those legs feeling? How are the shoulders? And see as best as is possible, soften just a little. Softening the legs, the shoulders, the heart, the throat. Maybe moving the jaw a few times. Sometimes we hold a lot of things in our jaw. Softening face, softening tongue, removing it from the roof of your mouth. And slowly bring your attention to your breath from there. Same practice, not trying to judge it or change it, but just noticing how we're taking in life on that inhale. How are you letting go on the exhale? And as best as it's accessible, soften. Even if it's just a teeny little bit more. Letting be outside of the room that you're in or a studio or wherever you're practicing. Whatever was happening before this practice or is going to happen after this practice. Everything's perfect, exactly as it is. Keeping attention on your own breath and body for this next 30 minutes that we're together. And just as you are on your breath, this would be a lovely time to set an intention for your practice if that resonates for you. If it doesn't, we don't have to have an intention. Just find your heart center. Either way, send yourself a little bit of gratitude for the next breath or two, just for showing up for ourselves today. And slowly deepen those inhales a little bit, sending inhale through the nose all the way to the bottom of your belly, and a big exhale through the mouth. Just a few cleansing breaths. Beautiful. Arriving a little bit more every exhale. Let's do a couple more. Inhale through the nose all the way to the bottom of your belly. And exhale through the mouth. If a sigh or a sound wants to happen, let it happen. One last one together. Inhale through the nose, gathering all the little pieces that no longer serve. And exhale to let them go. Beautiful. And gently transitioning into some three-part breaths together. If you're familiar with this, start breathing that way, just as a reminder. Inhale goes all the way to the bottom of your belly first. You can even place your palms on your belly to feel that air. And then you're slowly moving it up. So then the ribs expand in the chest. Exhale is just the reverse of that movement. So it's inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Let's do that a couple more rounds, just so the nervous system knows what's coming. This would be an excellent breath to stay with for most of this practice if it resonates for you, or come back to it when it feels appropriate. But just so that attention comes a little bit even further inward before we bring in movement. Let's do one last round of that three-part breath together. Beautiful. And if you're not already on the mat, I invite you to lie down on your mat. And gently bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, starting with a little self-love. And you're welcome to hold it still or just bring a gentle movement to that sacrum. You can do knee circles. Just let your body unfold how it wants to for this first couple of breaths. Let's see what you need. Keeping that chin tucked under, breath is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. One more full breath exactly where you are. And gently drop your feet on your mat, opening your feet as wide as your mat or maybe a little wider. Coming into some windshield wiper, knees together. Option to bring your shoulders into this. You can bring your arms towards the sky. Hang on the opposite elbow. Inhale, both knees lower to the right, elbows to the left. Exhale, roll it back to center. Inhale, knees to the left, elbows to the right. Exhale, back to center. Option to keep your head and neck still. Option to move that head and neck if your spine allows today. Two more breaths just like that. Beautiful. And one last one to the left. And roll it back to center when you're ready. And just getting ready to come up to a seated position. You're welcome to roll over to one side, to slowly come on up, or gently rock on your spine just a couple times to bring yourself up into a seated position. Come in just an easy pose, Sukhasana. Find your sit bones. We're just going to do a seated cat-cow together. So when you're ready, let's inhale and your tailbone goes back first. Heart opens, head comes up. Exhale, tuck tailbone, back arches, head goes towards your heart. Inhale and exhale. See if you can move so slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, just to energize that spine, everything else that's attached to it. 2 more breaths just like this. Beautiful. And one last full breath. And slowly bring it back to center, shifting into a balasana, child's pose together. So you can come all the way down, or modification would be if this is not comfortable for your knees, you're welcome to have blocks resting on your calves. If it's too far to sit all the way back down on your heels. So definitely your choice. You're welcome to keep your knees together or have them be far apart. You can reach your arms in front of you, leave them beside you, above your head and pray. Once you find a comfortable position, see if you can sink that weight back just a little bit. And notice breath moving through your back body. Notice your low back, mid back, back of your heart, back of your throat. Always an option to have a block for your forehead. We're not reaching the earth. Sometimes we can raise it up to meet us. You're welcome to rock that forehead from side to side, massaging that ajna center, your third eye. Knowing this is a place you can always come back to at any time during this practice to rest. Because I am not in your body and I do not know what's happening. So take this practice at your own pace today. One more full breath here in your child's pose. And in your own good time, if your arms aren't stretched in front of you, stretch them in front of you. We're just going to get ready to transition here. Palms open as wide as your mat. Tuck your toes under. And an inhale, come up into a down dog. We're not going to hold this long. We're just going to move our legs a little because we hold things a little bit longer in practice like this. You're welcome to sway your hips, walk the dog. You can hold it still. On your next inhale, right leg up and bend that knee, gently stepping forward and drop the back knee down, coming into a low lunge. You're welcome to be on top of that left foot if your knee is away from the center of your body. If it's close to center, tuck the toes. It just keeps that knee nice and anchored. Hips are pointing forward. You can stay here. You're welcome to come into it with your arms up. You can come into it with a back bend. You're welcome to hold that head. Your first option is just to stay centered, rooting through that right foot. And you want ankle under the knee as best as it's accessible, and slowly back into those 3-part breaths. Inhaling into your belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Beautiful. 2 more just like that. And that feels complete in your body. Bring it back to center. Drop that left palm on your mat. You're totally welcome to have a block. You're welcome to make a fist. Option to bring the opposite arm up. Option to rest your palm on your sacrum if your shoulder isn't upward. This come into a little twist, whatever that looks like in your body, and slowly back, either to some 3-part breaths or just slow breaths. You can inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Inhale, let exhale go. Let the exhale bring you into this twist a little deeper. It's like we're wringing ourselves from the inside out. Super detoxifying, but also calming for the mind. 1 more full breath, just like that. And slowly roll it all back to center. Palms on the mat, on the inner edge of that right foot. Slowly heel toe right foot towards the right edge of your mat. Coming onto the outer edge of that right foot. Coming into a little outward rotation to that hip. So you're welcome to press that knee away from your body. If that's too far, you can totally leave that palm out of it. Option to press. Option to be on the fist if you like. If this is too much pressure in that left wrist. Beautiful. Breathing into that opening. Let's come into some slow box breaths together. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. And one more full breath, just like this. And slowly roll it back to center, palms on the mat. We're going to heel toe this right foot towards the left edge of the mat. And coming into half pigeon. If half pigeon is too far for your body today, alternatively, you could do a figure 4 on your back. If you're in pigeon, shift your weight forward. So wrist under shoulders. And then have a look back so that your ankle, knee, and hip are all in the same straight line. You would like to have a tall spine. Sometimes you sort of fall over to one side. See that you're centered. Option to have a little block here for your hip, or hip and opposite shin, just to hold yourself up. If you'd like a deeper hip opener, heel toe that foot away from your body. Shin to the parallel to the top of the mat is as far as you want to go. And then slowly lower yourself down. I'm going to hold this a little longer than we have been holding. So find a position that feels comfortable in your body. You don't want the sensation to feel like it's tightening or strengthening even. Let your breath be your guide. If you're holding your breath, we've gone a little too far. And anchor into that breath. In a practice like this, we tend to start to think because we're not used to things being really slow. So anchor into that breath. If thoughts come up or images come up, just say thank you, but let them roll by. Beautiful. Stay with those breaths and hold it. The reason why we do a practice like this and stay focused on the breath is so the fascia can release, that intricate system that holds us together. We also hold up our stuff there, not just physical sensations, but emotional things too. So it's nice to give it time so it can release on its own. Beautiful. Inviting that quality of surrender as best as we can. Stay with those breaths, just a few more like that. You're doing great. 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, if you're all the way in pigeon, come back from your forearms onto the palms. Bring yourself up to center and slowly sitting on that right hip. If you're in a figure 4, bring yourself back up to a seated position gently. Bending that left knee, coming into deer together. Always starting with both feet close to the body. This is your first option. You're welcome to just stay here. It's just a different rotation to your hip. You're welcome to heel toe the feet away from your body if you'd like a deeper hip stretch. But if the spine starts to go like this a little bit, we've gone a little too far. So you'd like a nice tall spine. Option to stay up here. Option to fold forward from the hip crease and then all the way down. Option to have a block under that forehead again. And one more time. Once you have a juicy position in that body, come to that breath. Focus on the breath, not the extension. Inviting that quality of surrender as best as we can. Although sometimes words like that could be triggering too, because even though we ask for surrender, the body just doesn't. And that's okay too. Just witness yourself, whatever may be coming up. And 3 more slow breaths just like that. Shanti. On your next breath, slowly roll yourself back up to center, palms on the mat so we have stability. We're going to shift into Anatasana or Puppy. So shift your weight forward, knees are bent open as wide as the mat, tuck your toes under. You want sit bones to go up towards the sky. Sometimes in this pose our weight sort of shifts forward and we lose the hip stretch. So you're going back and up with the hips a little. Your first option is to come down onto the forearms and release the head. Second option, you can have a block under your chest and then all the way down. Your last option is chest to the mat. Extend your arms in front of you. And if it's not comfortable for your head to be as center, you're welcome to gaze to one side or another. I'll let you know when we're halfway through so you can switch sides. Breathing into the hips, into the heart. All these poses that we're doing in this practice are designed to correspond with our meridians, our energy systems as well. This one opens heart and lung meridian, also opening hips, as sometimes the yogis call this the junk drawer, the hips. We hold a lot of things there. So just if stuff comes up, let it come up, because what happens at yoga stays in yoga. Stay with this for a few more breaths. If your head and neck is to one side, switch sides so your neck receives an equal stretch. And on your next inhale, if you're all the way down, come back onto your forearms. I'm just going to gently transition and to lead with our other leg. So same sequence, but just on the other side. Tuck your toes under if you haven't already. Back up into a downward facing dog option to pedal out those feet just for a breath or two. On your next one, left leg up, bend the knee, stepping forward, drop the back knee down, come into that low lunge one more time. An option to tuck those toes under just to anchor that knee. Both hip bones are pointing forward. Ankle under the knee, roots through all corners of that left foot. This is your first option. Just stay centered. Your second option, arms up, maybe a little back bend. Always a nice option to hang on that head so it's not leading the back bend. And back into your three-part breaths, just like we did before. Inhaling into belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Two more just like that. And when that feels complete in your body, bring yourself back to center, landing right palm on the mat on a block, or you can make a fist. Option to bring opposite arm into it. Option to land your palm on your sacrum if your shoulder isn't up for that. Beautiful. And breathe into this opening. See if that exhale can bring you into it a little bit more. Just a couple more breaths here. And when this feels complete, bring it back to center. Heel toe that left foot towards the left edge of your mat. Come on to the outer edge of that foot. Option to press that knee away from your body. And breathe back to that breath. There, inhale, let exhale go. Or inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Two more just like this. Beautiful. And ever so gently roll it back to center when you are ready. And I'm going to give you a couple of options. If you were doing a figure four on your back on the other side, you come into a figure four. Other option is to heel toe this left foot towards the right edge of your mat. Coming back into that half pigeon, palms on the mat. Shift weight forward, wrist under shoulders. Slowly lower yourself down. Always start with the foot close to your body. Our body feels different every day. Have a look back to see all joints are in the same straight line. Then option to heel toe that foot away from your body if you'd like to have a deeper hip stretch. And then making sure that that left hip is off the mat so we're not collapsed on one side. And lower yourself down when you're ready on the forearms and let the head go. Again, if the sensation in the body is that we're holding something up, feel free to use a block, either under that hip or the opposite shin. And slowly back to the breath. Focus on the breath, not the extension. Beautiful. Inviting in just a little bit more softness, as best as it's accessible in the body. Just a few more breaths here. You're doing so great. Beautiful. Three more just like that. When you're ready to transition out of this pose, if you're on figure four, slowly roll yourself to a seated position. If you're in pigeon, back onto the palms, and then shift your weight so you're sitting on the left hip. Bend that right knee. Always start both feet close to the body for a dare. So you can be here. You're welcome to gently heel toe your feet away from your body if you'd like to have a deeper hip stretch. Option to stay at center, option to fold forward. Hinging at the hip crease and all the way down. And once you have a comfortable position in your body, come back to the breath. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. Just a few more breaths like that. One more full breath. And when you're ready, if you're all the way down, slowly bring yourself back onto the palms and shifting your weight. And we're going to end up on our belly. So take your time through this transition When you're ready, lower yourself all the way to the mat. We're just going to open the shoulders a little bit as well. So we're going to send first the right palm away from your body. Right arm is extended, pressing into the left palm. You're going to turn your body and bending that left knee. Your option to land this foot on a block, option to let it come to the earth. And that left palm can be beside your hip. You can extend it. You're welcome to reach for your sacrum or the opposite palm. If your head is not reaching the earth, feel free to use a block like a little pillow. You don't want the sensation to be of holding. You want it to feel like a surrender. Find that sweet spot. Come back to your breath. Breathe into the heart. Shoulders. Still the hip. And 3 more slow breaths just like that. And when you're ready, roll it back to center. Take a pause if you need to. Just going to do the same thing on the other side. This time your left arm extended, pressing into the right palm, and turn your body. Bend that right knee. You're welcome to land this foot on a block or all the way down. And option to leave that palm beside your face or extend it or reach back as far as it feels okay for the shoulder. And breathe into the opening of your heart. Shoulders, hips. Soften. 3 more breaths. And when it's complete, ever so slowly roll it back to center, coming into frog together. So similar to puppy, I'm just going to shift our weight back just a little, this time a little bit wider. So open your knees as wide as the mat to start with. Your feet land on the inner edges. And then slowly lowering ourselves to the forearms. Option to open those knees just as far as it feels comfortable in your body. Thank you. Shifting the weight back just a little bit. Again, here, same as before. If our weight shifts forward, we lose the hip stretch. So you want your hips to go up and a little bit back. Option to be here. Option to lower yourself down onto the chest. I'll let you know when we're halfway so you can switch sides if your head is to one side. Beautiful. You can do a 3-part breath or just a box breath. Just a few more breaths like that. When you're ready, switch sides. If your head and neck is to one side, switch sides so your neck receives an equal stretch. We're about halfway through. So 2 more slow breaths just like that. And when you are ready to come out of this pose, if you're all the way down on your chest, come back onto the forearms and then slowly shift your weight forward so far that your legs become straight. Then bring them together and windshield wiper the knees just to release it gently. Take your time here. We're going to transition onto our back body, so let it be a slow transition. If you need a little break or a water break, totally welcome to do that. Option to rest. Take a few breaths, but ending up on our backs just the same way we started practice. If you have a block and you like using it, or alternatively a folded towel, bring it with you. All the way back into constructive rest, and check in to see that those shoulders feel nice and open. I'm going to give you a couple of options for this next one. Your first option, rooting through feet. You're going to lift the hips up towards the sky. If you have a block or any support you like using, just put it under the sacrum. If it's a block, let it be as flat as setting. And you can send your feet up towards the sky. You don't need to have a block either. This just gives you a little extra height. Just staying here in this inversion, just to reverse the flow of things in your body. If shoulder set is already a part of your practice and you feel comfortable, you're welcome to come into that as well. I'm just going to send the feet up towards the sky. Always support the back body. So walking palms towards your shoulder blades, rooting through shoulders, never finding any weight in the neck. And keeping head and neck still, chin tucked under. Just to reverse the flow of fluids, blood, energy, becoming a little more introverted. Transition from doing into being. Or any inversion that feels nice in your body. If it's part of your practice to come into a pulao or a snail, you're welcome to do that as well. Just for a few more breaths like that. Remember that if you've lifted, sometimes there may be a block under your sacrum, so always support that back body so we don't fall back onto a block. Beautiful. 3 more breaths just like that. When you're ready, support the back body, bend the knees, and ever so slowly lower yourself back down, either onto your block or onto your mat. Feet back down, lift the hips if there is a block or any support, and all the way back down. Bring the knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. Maybe rock on that sacrum just for a breath or two. And gently from here transitioning into happy baby. For that, we're just going to flex the feet, bend the knees, send feet up towards the sky, a little space between the knees. You're welcome to hang on the back of your thighs or reach for your feet. You can do inner edges, outer edges, or toes. And if you're hanging on to the feet, but your hips are lifting way off the mat, your shoulders are feeling tight, let them go. We don't need to hang on. Welcome to rock. You're welcome to hold still. Still standing belly button a little towards the spine. Chin is tucked under. 3 more slow breaths just like this. When it feels complete, bring those knees back together and drop your feet on the mat. We're going to extend your right leg, bring in left knee into the chest, coming into a supine twist together. So left knee towards the right edge of your mat. Your first option is to even use a block under that knee and stay at center, head and neck look up. Your last option is to come all the way into it, gaze in the opposite direction as that knee. Breathe into your back body. Sometimes big belly breaths are really nice to release the spine, the back, your IT bend. Just a couple more breaths like this. Bring it back to center when you're ready. Extending left leg, bringing in the right knee, and lower it to the left this time. Option to keep your head and neck at center, or gaze in the opposite direction, breathing through both shoulders as best as it's accessible. And just a couple more breaths on this side. Roll it back to center when you're ready. Back into that constructive rest. And just let your knees fall towards each other. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. And just to release that psoas muscle, that beautiful muscle that basically connects our upper body to the lower part. This is the only time that it's not under tension. So let's send it a little love by coming into some deep breaths. Deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. Let's do one more. And when you're ready, I'm going to transition into our Shavasana. From here, our final resting pose. Sometimes the body needs to do a little movement before coming into stillness. So if that's happening, allow that to happen. Eventually coming into Shavasana of your choice, whatever that looks like in your body. Just like we did at the beginning of the practice, soften. Do a little check-in to see if those legs can be a little bit more at ease. Softening the belly, heart, diaphragm, shoulders, throat. Softening face and jaw. Softening tongue. Eyes. Let those eyes roll back into their socket just a little bit. Softening breath. And for the next few moments, inviting in, again, a sense of timelessness, stillness to the body, stillness to the mind. Anchor into that breath. Enjoy the benefits of your practice.
The voice of a mother and a father and a child. Would you recognize?
Take your time in your Shavasana as long as you need. But this class together has to come to an end here. But if you have the space, I encourage you to stay in that Shavasana. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. From my heart to yours. Namaste. In oxygen, we like to make a little heart with our hands. You're welcome to join me with doing this if you like, sending love to ourselves, to each other, everybody else out in the world, saying, I love my life. Enjoy the rest of your day.